So Labour plan to start nationalising the UK railways within days, it's been revealed. We're going to read into this article from iNews, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from iNews with the headline that it's been revealed that Labour plan to start nationalising the UK's railways within days. A future Labour government will include a new Railway Act in the first King's speech after the election. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share us across social media so others are notified of this video. Now, I am in agreement that it is time to take our railways back into state hands. It is time to take back control of our railways, guys, because I fundamentally agree that for too long, all across the country, all across the UK, private companies have taken advantage of our rail systems. They have profited off our backs, and we have suffered for too long. Too many train delays, not enough trains out there. No more. There's a lot of trains not going to places where they used to go. There have too many delays, too many issues. We were going as far. We were even going as far, as to removing ticket booths from every single station. Ticket booths being removed. Like, how insane is that? With no thought whatsoever about those with disabilities or blindness and whatnot at stations. That's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Like, that's how far that these private companies, that we're looking to go. And thank God for the unions, standing up and fighting for them too. This needs to happen, guys. I know some people may not. Yes, the question, of course, of how we're going to pay for it is also one for up for debate. Of course, understandably, it's going to be one that's up for debate. But for too long, our railways have let us down. We've consistently changed franchises all the time. And honestly, in good conscience, do you feel that the UK railways have benefited? Do we think that they have upgraded in the benefit for our well-being, or do we feel they're just taking advantage of us, like the water companies and energy companies, for example? I think this needs to be done, but to be doing it within days, it's quite an ambitious project, that's for sure, from Labour. But let's read into what exactly they plan to do. So Labour will commit to bringing British Railway back under public ownership for the first time in 30 years within weeks of coming to power, the Eye has been told. The party will include a new Railway Act in its first King's speech in a measure to demonstrate to voters that it will deliver on its promises to renationalise the rail system within the first term of government without the taxpayer paying a penny in compensation cost. Under the plans, the legislation will set the legal framework to enable a future Labour government to allow existing rail contracts to expire and to be taken under the control of the new arms body length called the Great British Railway. Sounds very good, doesn't it? Sounds very nice. Great British Railway. Labour says the measure will enable it to take public control over each of the 10 remaining commercially operated rail franchises, including the misfiring Avanti West Coast, which the Eye reveals in March cancelled up to 26 services a day. Such a move will allow the new publicly owned rail system to offer the best price ticket guarantee, bringing an end to the practice of rail firms setting inflated ticket prices. The proposals will be backed by a new customer watchdog called the Passenger Standard Authority, which will also be established to hold GBR to account and deliver improved outcomes for rail users. This is a big project, but I think it's one that's a necessity, that's for sure, guys. The plans draw a significant dividing line between Labour and the Conservatives ahead of the general election, with the party insiders claiming the plans will deliver savings to the taxpayer of up to $2.1 billion once it's fully implemented. The Shadow Transport Secretary Louise Haigh said the proposals will deliver the biggest overhaul to our railway in a generation. After years of dysfunction and waste, our broken railways are unfit to meet the needs of modern Britain, she added. Passengers and taxpayers alike are being failed and our economy is being held back, and doing nothing is simply not an option. The government estimates that its 2021 reform plan that could save £1.5 billion annually after 5 years by ending inefficiency and fragmentation. Labour believes that the government's own analysis shows further savings could be made by moving all rail franchises into public ownership and by cutting out franchises' bidding costs, reducing the duplication of resources and reducing friction between operators. The measures will have been backed by the former British Airways Chief Executive Keith Williams, who carried out the government's own railway reform plan. Mr Williams says, I welcome Labour's intention, if they are elected, to take forward the substance of my recommendation to deliver a better railway for passengers and freight by creating a rail body with the integrated project and loss account at arm's length from government. But the plans have been heavily criticised by the rail industry, which has warned the wholesale nationalisation will end up costing taxpayers in the long run. Andy Bagel, Chief Executive at Rail Partners, an industry group of train operators and freight groups, said, train companies agree that change is needed for the railways, but nationalisation is a political rather than a practical solution that will increase costs over time. Now, there's absolutely no question there will come costs from the taxpayer, for this. But given how much money that we waste on it, the cost that we pay itself, towards Network Rail, the amount of money that costs for season tickets, the amount of money that's put into these private companies to ensure this. I mean, what is better here? Would you rather have a better rail service, which would mean your trains run on time, you're able to get to A to B, you won't need to use your car as much, which also means you reduce your emissions. These ticket prices could go down or be freezed as well. I think this is needed. I generally think this is needed. I think we need to have this change. And yes, there are risks to this change, but given how our rail industry has been handled for a long time under private ownership, I think it's time to... We've had too many instances of rail companies just not having the money or going bust and whatnot. It's time for something new. And it's time to, like I said, it's time to put things back in state hands. The Tory Minister for Rail, Hugh Merwin, said Labour have confirmed they will push forward with their pointless, unfunded rail nationalisation, which will do nothing to improve train reliability and affordability for passengers. Well, your party's been in power for 14 goddamn years. So, what have you guys done to improve the rail system in 14 years, I mean, yes, we've had a few new fancy trains here in London, but for those up in the north, have your train services improved? Do you feel better off, for example? Like... in other parts of the countries, do you feel that your train service has been really good and reliable? Honestly, let me know your honest thoughts about that. Just like their unfunded £28 billion a year decarbonisation project, they don't have a plan to pay for the bills attached to their rail nationalisation. Without a plan to pay for this, it means one thing, taxes will rise on hard-working people. Well, I've said this about taxes before, guys. Taxes are important. Taxes are needed to be able to run things. Cutting taxes is the worst thing you could do. Taxes are a necessity, and I think it's something that that if we have to end up paying a bit more in the end, if it means better rail service, if it means getting to where you're going, if it means that your ticket prices are frozen much more, if it means that you use less of your car, reducing emissions, then why not? Why not pay a little bit more out of your pocket in taxes? I would say that says in the long term. Not right now, it says in the long term. But their plan at the moment is not going to cost a penny at the start. That's what they are saying, Labour here. But I think, once the manifesto comes out, and we'll look at the details about how they do this, it was definitely going to give some food for thought. Now, obviously, understandably, lots of people like myself are always sceptical of Labour. But if this is something they are planning to do, I'm all in favour of it. But what do you think, guys? Do you think we should renationalise the British Railway? Do you think it's time to renationalise it, or do we think just we need to make fundamental changes to the current system that we have now in order to improve our better service? Are you someone who uses the railway yourself? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, what you think about Labour's plans, and share more of your thoughts as well. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.